So the main grammar points from here are some separable verbs like to look, aussehen, und auch, and also the TEKAMOLO rule. So that's very useful to know where certain expressions are located. If you have a time expression or temporal expression, that's normally going to precede every other expression of causal, for example, that's why something happens. Modal, that's the way something happens, and local is going to be the place where something happens. So German is very structured in that sense that time is always going to precede place, for example. These are the two most common, expressions that you're going to find in sentences. So time always precedes place, and we see it in here. Nach dem Wandern, after the hiking, waren sie müde. So the time expression here is nach dem Wandern, all of it, nach dem Wandern. If I want to add a local expression, that could be in den Bergen, So in German you will always say, nach dem Wandern in den Bergen waren sie müde. Sie waren müde nach dem Wandern in den Bergen. You see? So again, the location is going to come after the time. Also, when we have separable verbs like they looked certain way before the start, the particle is going to be at the end. So sahen sie gut aus. In upcoming sessions, we might practice with other time expressions. For the time being, just know that the time is always going to precede all the rest. If you want to say, well, there's ways of saying this, right? Sie waren kurz vor dem Ende, shortly before the end. Sie waren kurz vor dem Ende, erschöpft, so exhausted. Erschöpft. Sie waren kurz vor dem Ende erschöpft. So identify time expressions also when you do language pattern hunting in native sites for children, as WikiHow or Geolino, or other sites you can use like Dein Spiegel für Kinder. When you do that search, try to focus on finding this kind of pattern. Where are what are all those time expressions? For kurz vor dem Ende, that's a whole time expression. Kurz vor dem Ende. And you're going to find many. What other time expressions are here? Before, vor dem Anfang, kurz vor dem Ende. The most basic time expressions, heute, morgen und gestern. So gestern bin ich in X place gegangen. So I went yesterday to X place. Gestern bin ich in X Ort, X place gegangen. Or I can also start with ich bin gestern. And why? Why the order? Because verb, always second place. So verb, always second place, subject, first place. And again, starting with such an expression, ich lerne heute Deutsch. In what other way can you say the same? Starting with heute. Heute lerne ich Deutsch. And again, if you want to see more examples, want to explore more on this topic, you can look it up as TEKAMOLO, or you can also look up Satzbau or Satzklammer, all those words, right? But again, the best way to learn it is not in isolation, right? With examples that have no connection whatsoever. It's always better to find it yourself in real life language, see language in action with all the patterns as they're actually used, not graded with a just condensed, limited amount of patterns. That's not how language works. So if you want to set up your brain for success, start consuming content for native German children. That's what I recommend, even if you're at the very beginning. Very good job and very good luck also looking up these language patterns.